doesn't have any volition at all. It just is reacting and responding to what seems to be happening to it. So it's just another story. You're telling me a story, really. There aren't any stories. All there is this. This isn't a story. This is the infinite. This is timeless beingness. That's all there is. Out of that apparently emerges a story, which isn't real. Thank you. Feels real.
A story is a real story.
Only for that which feels it's in it. For the me, the story is real.
Yeah.
The problem for the dilemma for me or the person is that they think everything is real.
Yeah.
But then see that it's real and only.
What would you say to, let's say, the word, or what means conscious, conscience?
Conscience
yes.
is a
your own truths,
it's a Christian concept, or something that a person can learn to have. So it's just it's a Christian concept based on the idea that a person can learn the difference between right and wrong. So it's all still part of the illusionary story.
It's only that?
Of course.
Wow.
Because the illusionary story of the individual is purely dualistic. It's a subject-object world in which the idea of right and wrong arises.
Yes.
And the idea that there is somebody who can choose right or wrong is also based on the illusion that there is someone who has choice.
Yes.
All Christian motivation in that way, all Christian teaching is dualistic.
That would mean feelings are also not to believe in a way, because I want to go there where I say, what is my truth? What am I going for? What am I standing up for? What is true for me? You know.
What's true for you is what gives you pleasure.
What gives me pleasure?
Yeah. In the end, all.
Is that your truth? You say that.
Right?
It's your truth that you say.
No, I have no truth. There is no truth here. This message has no truth. It's not the truth.
It's ideas, or what is it?
No, it just points to what is. It's certainly not ideas. Ideas come out of it, but it's pointing to something that's totally alive and vibrant and naked and passionate. It is this, what is.
Yeah, but
this
sounds so wonderful and so great. So I could say, I want to go for this.
No, but you won't ever get it. You can't have this.
Yes.
The individual can't have this.
Yes, but you see, this man, he asked about hypnosis. And last time I pointed towards a similar question and you answered me, it's okay to do it as a job. But then I was thinking, working in the phenomenal of healing and inspired talking or whatever, and therapy, and so you said it's okay as a job?
What I was saying was that there's no one who can choose to do it or not. It's what happens. It doesn't mean by saying it's okay that it's good or bad. It just is what happens, apparently. So
it happens maybe and you stand in the middle of a session and you think, wow, I'd rather be able to not work in a dualistic.
But you can't do anything else. The me lives in dualism, is dualism, and preaches and teaches pure dualism. Christianity is pure dualism. Therapy is based on a dualistic perception, and that is that there is something that's better than something else, that can be reached or brought about through an act of will. All of those concepts are illusory.
It can only happen.
Sorry?
It can only happen.
It only apparently happens. Everything that's happening is only apparent. This isn't real. It's an appearance. It's no thing appearing to be this. It has no, it's not real. It's real and unreal. It is what is and isn't. And it has no purpose. It's not having any meaning. It's not trying to get somewhere better. It's not in the slightest bit interested in something better, because this is already complete.
Yeah.
And so is this.
Well,
and so is this. There is only that which is complete already. And the seeker is always trying to find something that's better, hence Christianity, therapy, Buddhism.
Okay, this what is sometimes is that people want to come to see me and I refuse because of that dilemma.
Because
of that dilemma in myself.
But there's nothing you can do. All the time your perception is that which comes from the person. The person, as I said, is helpless. They can only respond to what's happening, or they can only be a response out of what's happening. There can be no choice for the person.
Okay, thank you.
Well, you don't come out of the reality because you are the reality. You are the artificial reality that is the story of me. So you don't come out of it because that is your function. You can't be anything other than that. Suddenly, that me function can simply collapse. And when it collapses, all that's left is this.
How can it happen?
Oh, it doesn't happen.
It doesn't happen.
No, because you don't happen either. The me in the story is illusory happening. It's not real. And so, when it collapses, what collapses is something that was never happening.
Yes. But how to come to that?
No, you
It seems to be a never-ending story.
That's the dilemma. The dilemma is that the me can't, the person can't be free, can't find the freedom of everything, or nothingness of everything, or whatever you like to call it, of wholeness, which is already all there is. But wholeness, actually, there is no such thing as a person, but wholeness takes the form of a person who is imprisoned in a circle looking for the freedom to be everything. You can't find it because by the very effort of seeking it, they're already confirming that they think they've lost it. So all seeking is just a confirmation that something's lost. Nothing's lost, everything is what it is. How can it be possible for a seeker to find something that isn't lost? Difficult. It's impossible. Actually, it's completely impossible. There's no hope at all.
But it's not a funny game.
Sorry?
It's not a funny game.
Who said it was? And in that hopelessness, in that that utter futility is the gift. The gift is that what the seeker seeks is already there. It's absolutely shouting at everybody in this room right now through the senses. But because it is this, because it is what already is, the seeker can't find it because the seeker is living in what could be. The seeker is living in what's next. It can't possibly suddenly discover for itself what is. That's all. It's very simple.
We start not to seek anymore.
Well, if you start not seeking, you are then seeking not seeking.
A tricky system.
Yeah, very tricky. So Mike, for that.
It's like a joke. It's like
Well, in a way it's a joke, but not for the seeker. God is a comedian with an audience that never laughs.
the goose is out.
The goose, I don't know.
The story with the goose and the bottle.
Mm.
Tony, it's me. I have another fantastic question. So, it's about manifestation. So, in my view, this brain is a manifestation machine. So, it creates a Vorstellung, some imagination, and this imagination becomes real. So,
for the me it does, yes.
For the me, yeah, it seems so.
It seems fixedly real. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, actually, everything comes out of nothing, of course. Suffering, separation, everything that arises is nothing. Arising is this, and certainly the brain is just a function in that. Yeah.
So the voyage to the moon, there was an imagination of traveling to the moon, and it's manifest. Is this correct? No.
Apparently.
Apparently,
yeah.
Okay.
But it has no significance of any kind at all. It's completely, wonderfully meaningless.
Okay.
But very expensive. It's a very expensive meaninglessness. But yeah, so what? So what, really? You know, a trip to the moon is no more significant than a trip from here to Stuttgart. You know, it's just another thing that seems to be happening. It's only the individual who thinks that things are important and meaningful.
The individual, Tony, when he existed, did he know something about the possibility of collapsing before?
No, there was a sense of that. There was a sort of sense that really all the seeking he was doing was not what it was about. Essentially, it was something about collapsing or not being there, or this little thing rushing around all over the place. Listening for what it thought it wanted was not really what this was about.
he just lived with it. No,
Well,
he couldn't decide.
Like everybody else, I was absolutely helpless. Tony Parsons was completely locked into what seemed to be happening. Like every other individual, is just locked in. He's in a train going around a rail, which is it's a circle. And in the train there seem to be lots of different events happening in time. That's all that was happening to Tony Parsons.
Could be said something that makes it easier to sit in the train?
Sorry, today?
Could there be something said that makes it easier to sit in the train?
Or lots of things you could say that make it easier to sit in the train. There was therapy. Well, originally there was Christianity and Buddhism, but they're sort of falling out of the scene now because people are realizing that authority, the respect for authority is collapsing in the world at the moment.
But if
so
you
teachings
know that
of religions are sort of a way of comforting people for being in the train. Now then there's therapy, and then there's also a host of people out there who are said to be teachers of enlightenment, and they also help you to make you feel good in the train because they're all in the train with you.
But they don't have me. I don't believe this. The enlightenment teachers and the churches, and I can't believe in this.
You don't believe they are on the train? You think they have?
Not in my train.
Sorry?
Not in my story.
Right. Well,
but I'm in the story and I can't get out.
But don't you think that Christian teachers are in the train as well? Because they're only trying to teach you how to get from A to B. All teaching is teaching you how to get from A to B.
But I know that I can't get from A to B.
Oh, so they are on the train with you as well. That's all.
Yes, okay.
Because it's only, the whole effort of the me is to seek pleasure and avoid pain. So everything that, in a way, everything, not in a way even, that the me does is actually self-seeking. And all spiritual teaching is also self-seeking. Spiritual teaching is no more materialistic than selling second-hand cars. Don't worry about it. It's all about me.
I can't decide.
But you never will. That's what's been suggested here, is that this isn't up to you. That the you that's there can suddenly collapse.
But I hate this.
You hate it, yes, it's horrible. Over there. Right.
Liberation makes sense. Only liberation makes sense.
Liberation.
What makes sense? Only
Nothing makes sense. There's no such thing as liberation. There's no such thing as seeking. We're talking about a story. We're talking from that which is about a story which isn't.
So freedom is a concept.
Well, all words are conceptual, but there's something else going on here that is absolutely beyond concept. It can't be understood or known.
Nothing makes sense.
Sorry?
Nothing makes sense.
It doesn't matter whether it does or not, actually, really. And it's coffee time.
Well,